Hey YouTube, what's up? It's KShadow22 here, and today I'm bringing you guys the latest update on SignInControlX. Before we get too far into the weeds with what's new and whatnot, we're going to go ahead and just download this program as a standard user, take a look at it, and see what it does. So on my blog, this is the safest place to download the program. This is hawescomputers.com, and you just follow the link in the description. It'll bring you right here, and we'll hit download. You'll get a zip file, and it's really important that we extract the entire zip file. And you can do that, just right click it, hit extract all. For some reason that's not working. There is a dandy program out there called 7-zip that will do this just for you. Once that's finished extracting, we'll go ahead and open the contents of the folder, and you'll find one file, and that is the installer file. We'll go ahead and just hit enter on that, and you'll get a little pop-up. That's because I'm not going to publish it with Microsoft. So you'll get a little unknown thing, but you can right click it, look at the details, and it'll show that Corey Haas from Haas Computer Services programmed it. So upon installation, you'll see these two options here. We definitely want to create a desktop shortcut, but I'm not going to check this option here just for demonstration purposes, and you'll understand this function here a little bit. Now just remember, when I say that this second checkbox is to run SignInControlX, this is basically going to launch the entire program and execute what its whole purpose is for. So we'll go ahead and hit next, install. You'll see that Windows Desktop Runtime gets installed automatically, which is different from the last one. Here, you're going to get a little README file, and it's going to tell you about the supported flags and arguments of the program. It'll give you a little different information because there's now a script that'll give you the status of SignInControlX, which is great for remote feedback. We'll go ahead and hit next, and we can go ahead and launch it. When we initially launch it now, it's going to ask us if we want to launch it with administrative rights. Now this is required to do anything functional with the program. Otherwise, we just hit no. So when we hit no, we can't hit remove or install, but we can see our logs, but we don't have any logs currently, so that's not going to work. We'll go ahead and double click the program again, and we'll hit yes to run it as admin. We'll hit yes. Now in an enterprise environment, that part right there that you just seen is very important. This means only your IT professionals, your IT staff should have access to be able to install and open this program. Now your front end users, they definitely can open it, but there's no functionality available to them unless they're an admin. So looking here, we have a remove and an install button. So when we are running this installation file, remember that second checkbox that I referred to? That is what this is referring to. Oh, let's go ahead and open this program here. We'll hit yes again. So if you hit create desktop shortcut and run the install command, after it's done installing, it's going to go ahead and run the program and hit the install button and then close out of it. You won't see it happen. It happens in a blink of an eye, and most of it's kind of silenced as much as possible. So that's what that's going to do. So if you're deploying this program and you're going, this is kind of manual at this point, but you can hit that checkbox and you don't even have to open the program. So it's one less step for you to take. We'll go ahead and hit cancel and hit yes. Now I want you to see something here. If we open file location, we right now only have 10 files in this directory. If we hit install, we now have 12. Should have 12. Well, this file should have just, I don't know how it counted, but let's go ahead and Oh, we gotta hit OK. There we go. We'll go ahead and run it again and hit yes, because there should be 10 files and then it moves up to 11. So we'll hit remove. Now we only have the 10 files. So that last file that you've seen there is what's appearing, and that's really important for this program. That's what it's doing. We're going to hit install. We'll hit OK, and this script gets executed by Task Scheduler. So now if we open Task Scheduler, hit yes, we'll find that in the library, we'll go ahead and make it full screen. We have a new entry named SignInControlX log off. So at the log on any user, that task is going to go ahead and launch this script right here, which is in a protected administrative under C program files SignInControlX folder. This script is going to run. So it'd be really hard for someone with non-administrative rights to modify this script. This will go ahead and run as an admin privilege and log off all existing users except for the current ones signing in. That's it. That's all this program does. If you have a location or practice where only one user can scan in documents on a computer at a time, and another user signs in and then they can't scan in because another user forgot to log out, this will cure that issue. Or if you're in a x-ray, or like you work in the radiology field and you take x-rays, but only one logged in user at a time can take x-rays, this cures that problem. This is going to cure a lot of issues. And not only that, if you have a high usage workstation where you have multiple users accessing it throughout the day, maybe they don't have any of those issues, but think about the amount of resources it takes for 6 or 7 users to stay logged in on that computer at a time. If you don't have a restart policy and you work in like a hospital environment, then maybe after 2 or 3 weeks, you could end up having quite the handful of users signed in on that computer at a time. So this is going to help eliminate some of those bottlenecks as well. You can use this program for a lot of different things. So now what's new? Let's take a look at that, because now we can get more into remote execution, command line, and arguments. So with this latest release, I fixed a few bugs, a few quirks, but we've also now have, during the installation process, the required .NET Framework 4.8 automatically gets installed with that installer file. You don't need to manually install that anymore. You just install the regular installer that I provide you here, and it does it all for you. So now, the most important thing is if you have 200 workstations that you plan on deploying this to, how do you make that the simplest possible? Well, we can look here, and this has arguments that we can send to it. If we look at this README file here, it'll tell you everything you need to know. We can use an install command, and that'll hit the install button. Or you can do the uninstall, and that hits the remove button. And of course, it's silent, so the end user shouldn't really notice anything. Then there's additional information here about the status checker. This script is for you to play around with. This should tell you, it should report back if the script is installed, if the task is installed, and if so, then it's installed. It's just, so if you install across 200 workstations and you want to know how many of them were successful, you can use this PowerShell script here to figure that out. We won't be going in depth on that because it works on some workstations, doesn't work on all of them, but it's worth playing around with if that's something you're into. So now we can go ahead and open a PowerShell window. We need to run it as administrator because we're going to be doing administrator functions. So typically these commands you're going to be using with some sort of remote management tool like ConnectWise, Go to Resolve, remote utilities, all the different things out there. You can use these supported flags. They're fairly easy to manipulate. Here's an example line that we'll probably end up taking and using. And then we'll look, so I'm able to replicate this fairly easy using Windows PowerShell. So we're going to go ahead and take this example here and keep that highlighted. We're going to go over here and we need to change our current working directory. So we're going to type in CD, then we're going to paste where we're working at, and that's going to change our directory. Now we can go ahead and copy this command. Maybe. All right. And now when you're working within the same directory, you just put a period /. And now I want to show you guys. So it's currently installed. So this command's not going to really run that well. We need to open our program with elevated privileges and we'll hit remove. So right now the program's been uninstalled and we'll go ahead and hit install. We can see our script came back and we'll go ahead and run this with admin privileges. And we can see we can no longer hit install, we can hit remove again. Because what it do, it hit the install button for us. And then if we want to do the uninstall option, we just easily switch it. Now I'm not gonna hit that because I'd probably break it. But we can also hit this logs button up here and you can see a clear path of everything that this program has done. If there's an error or an issue with the program, you'll be able to identify it here as well. And those logs are actually stored under ProgramData. If you just look for SignInControlX, logs, and there it is, just a TXT file. So that's pretty much all you need to know about the executable, the main executable. But you still have a little bit of manual workflow, so I'm going to show you the easiest way to deploy this possible. I've shown you how to install it manually and cut out the final step using that second checkbox. I've also shown you how to cut out a few steps with just deploying a command to this executable here. Now I'm going to show you how to fully remotely deploy this and execute it all at once with a single blow. We first need to uninstall this program to give you a proper demonstration. When we uninstall it, it will remove everything, including the logs. So remember that. If those logs are important to you, just remember that. And it looks like those weren't able to delete because I had it open. So we'll go ahead and delete those manually. So I have made a copy of the program here on my C drive. Now I've done that. This is the installer file. So now we're transitioning. We were working on the main executable. Now we are working on the installer file. If we want to remotely deploy this, we need to go ahead and in this case, we're just going to use PowerShell for simple demonstration. And we're going to refer to the website. We have main executable. That's not what we want. We want the installer executable. So it looks like we have a desktop icon and a runinstall option. So we're going to take this. We don't need this file anymore. We're going to go ahead and just paste this in here. So we have a couple different arguments here. We have very silent. If we don't want the program to show during the install, we need this command here. If we want the program to execute the install function after it's installed, so the install of the install, we need this. This is going to execute it all the way. beginning to end. It's gonna open the program, hit that install button, and then completely close out of it, and the user will never know. And then we have this flag here for desktop icon. This is going to put that icon on the public desktop for all to see. That's gonna show up right here. Now, one modification we need to make is that the whole name here is different. This file is not in this imaginary directory here. It is there. So now, hopefully, when I hit enter, this will execute properly. Now, if you're remotely deploying this, given the correct tools, you won't even have this option here. But we'll hit run. We'll see that this just popped up. If we go ahead, open file location, we'll see that our log off others has completed. And we can go ahead and double click the program and see if it ran. And yes, it did run. The install button was installed. All right, you guys, I think that truly covers the entire breadth of this program. If you guys have any questions, any suggestions or feedback, go ahead, throw it down in the comments. This program's completely free, no charge to you. It's just a little project that I needed for a couple places I work at. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, please like and subscribe.